At the beginning of the year, Cain Dingle's life was turned upside down when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. At the same time, his wife Moira was behind bars for offences she had not committed. The ordeal placed enormous strain on the couple, but their troubles intensified due to Joe Tate's determination to take control of Butler's farm from Moira. His scheme ultimately worked, thanks to a campaign of manipulation and blackmail. Although Moira has since been released from prison, she is now living alongside several members of the Dingle family at Wishingwell. While Moira threw herself into helping with the new family farm, Cain became increasingly anxious about the aftermath of his prostate cancer operation. Since undergoing surgery, he has been dealing with incontinence and withdrew from social situations to avoid any humiliating incidents. A heart-to-heart with Liam eventually helped him change his outlook. Realizing he could not let the condition control his life, Cain ordered leak-proof underwear online after accepting his friend's advice. As he slowly adjusts to life after surgery, Cain asks Kyle if he can attend the cadet's swearing-in ceremony. Kyle is delighted by the prospect of spending time with his father again after fearing he no longer wanted a close relationship. However, on the day of the ceremony, Kyle notices Cain's seat is empty as he takes the Army Cadet oath. Unaware of what is happening, Kyle does not realize that Cain has rushed to the Woolpack toilets after noticing a wet patch on his trousers. While hiding in a cubicle, he receives support from Charles, who arrives with a clean change of clothes. Charles and Bob do their best to reassure him, promising to keep the matter private. They encourage Cain to return to the ceremony, and eventually he finds the courage to do so. When he finally arrives, Cain explains the accident to Kyle and apologizes for missing the important moment. Kyle responds warmly, insisting he is not embarrassed and is simply glad his father came back. Despite returning to the event, Cain continues to struggle emotionally. Later in the week, he admits to Moira that his ongoing health problems are making him feel as though he is less of a man. The couple later attend a hospital appointment, where they receive upsetting news. Although Cain's surgery was successful, test results suggest the cancer may have spread slightly. The revelation leaves Cain devastated, especially when he learns that further treatment will be required. However, doctors explain that he must wait several months before beginning the next stage, because his body still needs time to recover from surgery. They are also warned that the radiotherapy could potentially make his current side effects permanent. Cain and Moira agree to keep the information from the boys for the time being, but it is not long before another family secret threatens to come to light. Elsewhere, Charity continues to struggle following her sexual assault by Dr. Caitlin Todd. Believing Charity is suffering from postnatal depression, Manpreet prescribes medication to help with her symptoms. When Mackenzie returns home, Charity is upset to discover he has spoken to Sarah about what she has been going through. Later, while alone, Charity takes her sleeping tablets with wine. As the week unfolds, she remains unable to reveal the true cause of her distress, and instead blames her emotional state on postnatal depression and exhaustion. Meanwhile, Mackenzie comforts a heartbroken Sarah, convinced that the surrogacy situation is responsible for Charity's ongoing struggles. With Emmerdale absent from screens tonight, viewers have a chance to reflect on the latest developments in Charity Dingle's heartbreaking storyline involving Dr. Caitlin Todd. Earlier this week, there appeared to be a glimmer of hope when Charity took the courageous step of reporting Dr. Todd to the police for sexually assaulting her. Many fans believed this could finally be the beginning of justice. However, Wednesday's episode delivered a devastating setback. Dr. Todd manipulated and intimidated Charity into retracting her complaint before leaving the village, convinced she had escaped any consequences. As the story pauses temporarily, several major questions remain unanswered. Long before her crime against Charity came to light, Dr. Todd had already been making plans to leave the village. Part of that decision stemmed from private arrangements with Charity, who had demanded that she disappear once she received the blackmail payment she had insisted upon. Charity's actions were motivated by a desire to protect both her family and Vanessa, who had recently begun a relationship with the doctor. Realizing her presence could eventually cause complications, Todd agreed to move on and later informed Vanessa that she had secured a new position in Sheffield. Following Charity's withdrawal of the allegation, Todd felt certain she had outsmarted everyone. After bidding farewell to Vanessa and Manpreet, she left believing there was no reason she would ever have to face Charity again. Despite her departure, several strands of the storyline remain unresolved. Charity is still dealing with the trauma of her ordeal, Vanessa continues to trust the wrong person, and Jacob's bullying issues are ongoing. For that reason, Todd's involvement in the story may not be finished. Before Charity withdrew her complaint, the police investigation was only just getting underway. Detective Sergeant Reed, who had been leading the case, repeatedly reassured Charity that she was believed and that officers would work tirelessly to pursue justice. The detective also encouraged Charity to reveal every relevant detail. However, Charity chose not to disclose information regarding baby Layla's parentage or the blackmail she had endured. These hidden facts, along with any financial evidence linked to Todd, could still play a significant role in exposing her actions later on. Soap villains rarely escape punishment forever, but exactly how Todd's downfall will happen remains uncertain. Charity may eventually return to the police, or justice could arrive through a different route altogether. When Todd left the village, both Vanessa and Manpreet remained completely unaware of her true nature. However, recent comments from Louise Jameson, who portrays Mary Goskirk, hinted that the truth may eventually come out. According to the actress, Vanessa could soon face difficult and emotional consequences connected to her relationship with Todd. She suggested that darker developments are still ahead and described the storyline as particularly bold. These comments strongly suggest that Vanessa may eventually discover the shocking reality about the woman she trusted. At present, there is no confirmation that Todd has committed similar offences before. Nevertheless, previous events have revealed a concerning history of intimidation and abuse of authority. When Jacob reported her behaviour to the hospital's HR department over allegations of bullying, he was informed that other complaints had also been raised against her in the past. Detective Sergeant Reed previously hinted that Todd's behaviour might not be an isolated incident. During a conversation with Charity, she suggested that speaking out could help uncover additional accusations and potentially protect future victims. This raises the possibility that others who have suffered at Todd's hands could emerge as the storyline progresses. Although producers have yet to officially confirm her departure, reports in the tabloids suggested that Todd's exit had been planned soon after details of her storyline with Charity became public. Characters introduced for major issue-led plots often remain only for the duration of a specific narrative. As a result, it seems likely that Todd was always intended to serve a particular purpose within the storyline rather than become a permanent resident of the village. Emmerdale is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday at 8 p.m. Episodes are also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX and YouTube.